I want strength and success for you. I want empowerment, happiness, joy, and freedom. Do you want those things for yourself? Do you want more of them for yourself? Or have you been convinced by various influences that you should just be happy with what you have? Think of all the people who have less, and therefore take the wind out of your sails and the hunger out of your belly and slake your thirst not with actual hydration, but with relativism, postmodernity, and deconstruction of your desires. There is a place for that, but it's not the whole story. So it's not the full extent of what I want for you or for me. So let's get back to what it is I do want for both of us. It seems paradoxical, but it's not, to be both grateful for what is and what has been, along with being hungry and thirsty for more. What this accomplishes is a simultaneous ambition and ongoing satisfaction. That means that we're hungry and thirsty and seeking more, going for something greater, without what's often the negative association of those things, which is a justification of immorality, the mistreatment of others, the experience of discontent and resentment and contempt for what is and what has been. You see, my aim for us is that we are graceful, that we want more in a graceful way, rather than wanting more in a disgraceful way. Wanting more is often associated with disgrace. Yeah, wanting more is often associated with acting in a way that is not advisable and which is only potentially excusable as a response to victim identity. And I want to go from strength to strength. I want you to go from strength to strength, as opposed to necessarily going from weakness to strength. While that's fine, that's totally possible, it's still inferior to going from strength to strength. It's like this. What's the worst? Going from weakness to weakness, going from failure to failure. That's the worst. What's the best? Going from strength to strength, from victory to victory to victory to victory. What are the two middle pieces? The two middle pieces are going from strength to failure, right? From victory to failure, or from victory to victimhood, okay? That's somewhere between going from strength to strength and going from failure to failure or weakness to weakness. And the other thing that's between those two extremes is going from failure or victimhood to success and strength and victory. So this is a spectrum of desirability, of things that we could want for each other. And like I said, it's fine to go from weakness to strength. And I would say that's actually better than going from strength to weakness, but they're relatively similar, but the best is going from strength to strength. Why is that so rare? Why is it so rare to go from strength to strength? It's because we get lazy. It's because when things are going well, we're convinced by influences around us, as well as our own intuition, that we should just coast. It's called resting on our laurels. It's called retiring or sloth. You could call it justified sloth. And the idea is that we can afford to. This is a false idea that we can afford to relax indefinitely, right? Retirement is indefinite relaxation. It's like winning the lottery. The statistics of how well people do when they hit the lottery are actually quite disheartening and disillusioning, demystifying and revelatory. They're quite revealing. The statistics are not good. In general, people who retire, people who win the lottery, people who are sustained by something other than their own productive work, their own creativity, their own ingenuity, their own resourcefulness, they tend to do worse. And to do well in those circumstances actually requires a relatively high level of consciousness. That is, to go from success to success requires a high level of consciousness, because when you hit the lottery, that's a kind of success. You hit the jackpot, that's a kind of success. And so most people go from success to failure in that setting. They get the victory, whether it's at their own hands and their own effort, or it's a matter of luck, for which they still have to go out and buy the lottery ticket, to be fair. And in response to that, the pendulum swings from success to failure. It's the rare person who can have a success and then be grateful for it and be humbled by it and recognize that that success is meant to be built upon. So when they're feeling good, that is not supposed to be a plateau, but it's supposed to be a platform on which they then build the next higher level of feeling good, doing good, looking good, being good, and spreading the good. That's the key. If you're doing so well that you feel like you don't have to do any more work to support yourself, that's great. But that doesn't mean that you need to just stop working entirely. Now you have the benefit, the luxury, the privilege of going to work on behalf of other people. And believe me when I share with you that this is incredibly rewarding work that never ends in principle, and which is entirely available universally. My dad used to teach me a very simple lesson, which is that if you're trying to take from people, you're going to have a very limited number of people who are interested in participating in that. There will be some people who want to give to you, but it will be a limited number. Whereas if you want to give, you're going to have a effectively infinite pool or group, population, or audience of people who are interested in receiving, especially if you have something of value. And remember, the things of value that we have to offer each other basically fall into 6 categories. physical things of value, emotional things of value, mental things of value, financial things of value, social things of value, and moral things of value, because things of value are supportive. And you can give people physical support, emotional support, mental support, financial support, social support, and moral support. But you can only really do that effectively after you are in a stable position where you are self-supporting, which is actually very closely related to being supported by the unconditional, or being supported by the divine. Because when you're supported by an endless sea of abundance and resource and energy and inspiration, then your level of insecurity plummets and your level of security goes parabolic. Right? Your insecurity falls off a cliff and your security hits escape velocity and is able to break free from habit gravity. That is, the habit of learned helplessness can fall away. That's when you become incredibly useful to other people. That's how you can go from strength to strength. And that's what I want for myself and for you. And what this podcast and this program is designed to inspire.